Well, joining us to talk about that is John Liu. He's the Comptroller of New York City, the third largest issuer of muni debt in 2009 behind California and New York State. Next week, just to note, the city plans to sell $800 million worth of muni bonds. So certainly very timely, John, to have you on the program. But before we get to the muni debt markets, we've got to get to the news at hand, which is the jobs report.
Sure.
And, as I recall, we had some news out from Mayor Bloomberg, in fact, when he presented his budget,
right.
Noted that 11,000 jobs were going to be cut in the city. Is this going to be the worst? A proposal.
Yes.
Okay.
It looks like that may not happen at this point.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. What's the chance of that, and how many could we end up with in terms of job
earlier
losses?
this week, the mayor had announced that he was not indeed going to lay off the 4,400 teachers. So there will be some job cuts in the municipal government, but it won't be nearly as bad as we had feared.
As people are saying, or as the forecasts are.
And on the other hand, on the private side, we have a dip in unemployment. We've got unemployment now below 10% for the first time in many months since August, and it's a good sign. We expect unemployment to continue to trend downward for the next few years.
Right. I believe the rate right now is what, at 9.4% here in the city, right?
Yeah, close. 9.8 as of the last indication. But nonetheless, the important thing is that it is trending downward, and we expect that to do so for the next few years.
Right. We looked it up at the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and they had actually 9.4%. So I think you want to take that one instead.
We'd rather have 9.4.
Right. In any case, so given that, then, John, are you seeing the worst of the jobs? Are we on an uptrend now from here on out? Is this a trough?
Well, I'm optimistic. I think that the first quarter of 2010, we saw the second consecutive quarter of growth in New York City after 2 consecutive years of declines. So it looks like the economy is turning back around. Unemployment is trending downward, so these are all good signs. Does it mean that we're totally out of difficulties?
Right.
No, we've got state and city budgets that have to be resolved within the next few weeks. But I'm confident that New York City and New York State will do well, and I think that our bonds will be good investments.
Right, and New York City got very hit, of course, by the job losses on Wall Street. And are you seeing those now coming back, and are you confident they could actually even come back to the levels that we saw before the crisis?
Well, the Wall Street is one of the most, if not the most important sector here in New York City,
right.
And it is coming back. We've got some other sectors that are also struggling to catch up, and I think with the prudent municipal budgeting that we've been undertaking with the mayor and the city council,
right.
I'm optimistic about our outlook both in government and in the private sector.
John, and I alluded to this before, Warren Buffett had raised some alarm bells about the muni debt markets. Is he wrong? We are right now in the middle of a bond sale here in New York City, and things look pretty good. There is plenty of demand out there. We're getting good rates for the taxpayers. What I'll do is I'll outline what Buffett said. I mean, essentially he said that, look, there's a problem here where if states default, there's the question of whether or not the federal government is going to come in and rescue these states.
Right.
Is he wrong on that?
I think if you look at what's happened in recent years, there has been more of a categorization of muni debt. Not all muni debt is lumped together, and I think New York City debt rises to the top in terms of quality. We're AAA rated by all the rating agencies.
But would it be...
I'm sorry, AA rated.
AA rated. But would it be a wrong assumption that the federal government would come and rescue any state agency or any state, any municipality?
Well, we're not banking on that here in New York City. We've paid our debts. We certainly expect to continue to uphold our obligations.
Okay. All right, John. Thanks so much.